Now, this afternoon I want to begin with a little bit of history from a German historian named Otto Clausen, and for this I'm indebted to Dr. George Grant of Parish Presbyterian in Tennessee. But Otto Clausen cites that in the Second World War, if we were to study Hitler, the best way to understand him and his motivations, to understand Hitler's impact on history, is to study what Hitler hated. What did Hitler pay attention to as the terrible things in this world? And of course, we're all familiar, that Hitler had some racist ideology that caused him to hate the Jews. But he also kept a very personal list of the men that he hated the most in his day. And if you were to compose for yourself a list of people that you believe that Hitler hated most, who do you think might be on the top of Hitler's hate list? Perhaps you might think, as I would, it would be FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the American president who represented a great adversity to Hitler's cause. Hitler wrote him off as a fool, did not fear FDR one bit. That was nowhere near the top of his list. Perhaps you think Hitler went east then, to Russia, and said, perhaps Stalin is a man to be hated. But he neither hated nor feared Stalin, but considered him to be a madman, which is partially true. Then left on this national scene might be Churchill, that bulldog figure of England who represented the cause that ultimately brought down Hitler's ideology. But still Hitler had no fear, no hatred for Churchill, for he thought, although he is a man of valor, he was too much held back by the Parliament. And so there on Hitler's top list was none of these men that we might anticipate as the men that Hitler hated most. Today I want to tell you that the man that Hitler hated most is the man whose name is printed in your bulletin, that some of you know who he is. That is Abraham Kuyper. Now, this is a strange person for Hitler to claim as his most hated person, the person who he most feared, because by the time Hitler rose to power, Kuyper had been dead for 20 years. More than this, Kuyper represented no great army, represented no great military strength, and the people of Holland, the Dutch people, were conquered during the Second World War by Hitler. But I tell you, as we go through this, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Why would Hitler fear this man named Kuyper?